In practice, just what's your sense of the team right now going into it? I know you're pretty excited about what you added and what you got coming back.
You know, I am excited about this group. You know, we've had the opportunity to work with them for starting in the summer and then extensively for about the last 4 or 5 weeks since we've been in school. We've got an eclectic mix of old with new. I think we addressed a lot of our needs based on some areas that we felt like we need to improve upon. Probably the deepest collection of backcourt guys that I've had in my tenure here, which is saying something. We've had a number of all-league guards, second only to Kentucky in my 11 years of the most all-league guards. So we've had some quality guys, and I think this group, top to bottom, in the backcourt is as good as we have. And I know the big glaring issue is what are you going to do to replace Sebastian? You know, Sebas was a first-team all-league player who averaged a double-double at the SEC in rebounding at around 11 a game. And we're going to have to do that by committee. Dominic Olenichek, who was in our program last year, who will be new to you guys, he's not new to us, is going to come in and make an immediate contribution. We've still got more Canvas Hyman and Eustace Romanovich returning from last year and playing pivoting roles. And then we added Bruce Stevens, who was a junior college All-American, led Jones Community College in the national tournament. He's a guy that's going to come in and have an opportunity to make an immediate impact as well. Add that to Carlos Sheelings, and y'all saw Carlos a little bit before he got hurt. He tore his ACL in early December. Now he's back and healthy, and which is typically not the trend. Usually when I sign him, they shrink, but he's actually grown. You know, he's close to 7 feet himself. When you see him out here today, him and Dom, you'd say, well, Dom's a 7-footer, he's a 7-footer. He's like 6'11" and a half. About 255 pounds, and just kind of regaining the form that he had prior to the injury.
I know you've always talked about Dom being a rebounder, rim protector. Where is his offensive game? Where does he have to come along with that?
I think really the biggest thing with Dom is just experience, and that's something that none of us can force until he garners game time experience. He's a guy that's new to the game. He'd only played a handful of years prior to coming over. Played a minimal role at Drake, sat out a year. So for him, it's just timing and experience. He's an incredible worker. Now, I've never coached a 7-footer, so I can say this honestly. He's the best 7-footer I've ever had, and he's the hardest worker. He really works. His body's in great shape. We just finished a lot of our conditioning stuff, and some of his numbers are really mind-boggling for a guy as big as he is to move as well as he does. And he's got great enthusiasm. He wants to learn. He's very, very coachable. I know he's excited to have the opportunity to be on this stage, and he's going to have a big impact for us.
Andy, this FBI investigation, was there a buzz among this in the coaching industry? Did you guys?
As far as any idea that this was happening?
Yeah.
No, I learned about it as you did. I'm sure. I see it. It popped, I guess, Tuesday morning. I was actually on the road recruiting. And I started getting the information, and I was just like you. I was kind of taken aback as to the scope of what had transpired. You're talking about a federal investigation over a number of years and a lot of incriminating evidence.
Have you been able to process yet the impact you think it will have on college basketball?
Yeah, I think it's. I think it's going to have a tremendous impact. Who knows where this thing is going to go next? I've been in this business for over 20 years, so was I shocked to hear some of the things that came out? No, I was not. But again, when the feds are involved and they've got what they seem to have, and there's people going to jail and federal indictments are being handed out, obviously it makes everybody stop and pay attention.
Does it reshuffle the deck with some of the current kids who were maybe committed to some of these schools who have reopen their commitment?
Oh, of course, yeah, of course. And there's a number of good players out there. And in our business, you guys know this, the transfer rate is off the charts. I think there were close to 1,000 guys transferred this year. And so there's always movement. But when something like this occurs, obviously everybody kind of takes a step back, and all the programs that are directly involved, and who knows again what the next layer is, but all the programs that are directly involved, there's a number of guys that were involved with those programs, both current players and potential incomers, and that will all be in flux now for sure.
Which players do you expect to take a bigger role in the team for this season?
For us, Terrence Davis probably had the biggest jump obviously on our team, but arguably in college basketball last year, a guy who played a limited role as a freshman based on minutes and production, and then he ended up being our most productive offensive player at the end of the season, averaging around 15 a game. He is now a junior. I've said this many times. Typically, when a kid becomes a junior in college, now it's time for him to take that next step. And if you're capable of being an all-league player, which I think TD is, that's what we need from him this year. Our leading scorer, DeAndre Burnett, who after sitting out at Miami got us around 17 a game last year, and he was still new to what we were doing. We expect him to be much more consistent as a 23-year-old senior. We Brian Tyree, of all the people, and you guys again are welcome. You know, I don't know about Cup with the opening statement, moving me to the left, so I don't know if he told you this yet, but you guys are welcome to observe, you know, as much of practice as you can stomach. You know, I unfortunately have to be there the whole time, but you can come and go as you please. But the one guy that's gonna jump out at you, and you guys have seen Bree do real things. He's now healthy and he's confident and he's got that experience, and he probably has taken the biggest step of anybody on our team. And then we've got a number of newcomers that I'm really excited about. Markel Crawford, a post-grad from Memphis, was a quality player in their program, and he's gonna come in and do wonders for us. He's a great complementary guy to the people that we already had in place. And then I'm really excited about our freshman, Devontae Schuler from Oak Hill. He's probably as talented a guard as we've ever signed out of high school here. Ilya Tetertichnik, you have to work on that, Paris, a little bit. Roll your tongue, I've heard at the end. We call him Mouse, you'll know why when you see him. And he's gonna be a great player. I mean, Todd Abernathy did a great job. We had a little roster upheaval in the spring that was unanticipated. And we were very fortunate to go out and pick up a guy of his quality. He started on the Ukrainian national team. He's gonna be a tremendous player for us. So, I like the mix.
Every preseason,